What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I've been covering the Steelers all off-season, draft videos, free agent targets, positional rankings, who's on the bubble, who should break out this year, who should we keep, who should we cut, all kinds of Steeler content. So check out my last several months worth of Steeler content. I try and do 1 to 2 videos a week of the Steelers, usually 2. I apologize for the 1 week delay in between videos this week, battling some medical issues, having some physical problems, but we will get there. The Steelers are coming up, and that's going to cure my illness for sure. We're in kind of a dark time right now where there's not as much going on. We just finished the first part of camp. Preseason is still, in August. We're still over a month away. So we are trying to get more good Steeler coverage for you guys. Shout out to where I saw this from. I wanted to do rankings on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Today I'm going to start with offense. I'm going to do defense next week. But I wanted to bring you guys a ranking of all these starters, all 11 starters on both sides of the ball. So today we're going to do offense. Rank from 11 to 1, least to best. We're going to rank all 11 starters on the Steelers offense as far as the quality player and kind of where their ceiling is and where they could be based on what they've done so far and what they could do this season. I saw this first on Arthur Moat's channel. Shout out to Arthur Moats and Deke over on Arthur's channel. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler. We love that guy. He's got a great channel, very friendly. Him and Deke are very knowledgeable. I enjoy their stuff a lot. So go check out Arthur Moat's channel on YouTube and sub to him as well. But sub to me also, please. And so I saw these guys do it, and I wanted to do my own version. So this is from 11 to 1, least to best. I'm going to rank my personal opinion of where I currently see all 11 Steelers starters, all the positional starters for the Steelers on offense. And again, just my opinion, and just some of this based on what I saw last season, and some based on where I could see them going this season as far as their ceiling. The way I did this was I'm ranking the 5 offensive linemen projected starters, as well as quarterback, starting running back, starting fullback. I'm using the fullback. 2 receivers, the starting 2 receivers, and the starting tight end. So that's my 11. We're using 2 wide receivers and the fullback. So here we go from 11 to 1, counting down from least to best, based on my own personal projections. I'm starting with the rookie. I'm starting with Broderick Jones at number 11, simply because we have not seen him play in the NFL yet. Obviously, I think and hope he's going to be a long-term starter. I see physical tools out the wazoo with this guy. He's athletic, he's strong, he's a bully, he's physical, he's an athletic freak. I love the addition of this guy to as a draft pick. We traded up 2 spots to get him in the first round this year. He's going to be our long-term guy and potentially our franchise guy. Right now, Pittsburgh always starts slow with rookies and don't overexpose the rookies. They usually give the veterans the first spot on the depth chart coming into the season. So right now, Dan Moore has still been getting first-team reps and listed kind of over Broderick. I don't think that's going to last past preseason, if even in preseason. I think by the time the regular season starts, if not like 3 or 4 weeks into the regular season, you'll see Broderick Jones getting more burn as a starter. But right now, just based on the fact that he's a rookie and we have not seen him play in the NFL yet, it's hard to project where he could wind up. So I think he's going to wind up being a lot higher by the end of the season. But right now, I had to put him at number 11. Number 10, another offensive lineman, Chuks Okorafor. Now, I know Chuks Okorafor has played a lot better this past season. This was his best year by far. He got paid to come back for another couple of years. He's got 1 to 2 years left on his contract, but he was brought back this year because his cap hit is not very high, and he did play pretty solid last year compared to his previous couple of years, but I've just not been a Chuks Okorafor fan. You've seen that. Lots of penalties, lots of holding, lots of getting blown off the ball up until the second half of this past season. I'm not a Chuks fan, but he has improved a little bit, so let's hope that the improvement continues. I would like to see him obviously succeed. He's a Steeler, so I'm cheering for him, but I have not liked any of his game footage really up until the second half of last season, so he's my number 10. Number 9 is fullback Connor Hayward. Now, you guys watching my channel, you know I love Connor Hayward. 7th round draft pick last year. Wound up playing backup tight end. Got a few end-around plays off the line of scrimmage. Played starting tight end the last couple of games after Freiermuth got hurt. Played very, very well. I like him a lot. Big guy, physical guy, underrated athlete. Got the family lineage. I like Connor Hayward a lot. And he's only at number 9 because Pittsburgh doesn't really use their fullbacks. Pittsburgh has had a litany of pretty solid fullbacks over the past 4 or 5 years, including Derek Watt for the last year or two, and never really used them. I hope now, moving Connor Hayward over because we have Freiermuth and now we drafted Darnell Washington, having those tight ends, you move Connor Hayward to fullback. Now you've got a guy who can take some running plays off the ball. He can do some short yardage handoffs. He can receive. You can flex him out to like a slot position. He can block for you. He can run some routes out of the tight end / slot position. I like Connor Hayward a whole lot, but because Pittsburgh is not a big fullback using team and they've underused their past 3 or 4 fullbacks, and we're not quite sure where he's going to fit with the offense and what Matt Canada is going to do with him, I had to rank him pretty low, but I think his possibilities are pretty high. I would like to see him get used a lot and do a lot of like multi-tight end, multi-halfback, get some blocking, get some carries, get some receiving. I like the idea of a 3 tight end set with Connor playing fullback and Freiermuth and Washington playing the tight ends, but we'll see what happens. I don't really trust Canada right now, and Pittsburgh doesn't use their fullback. So Connor's number 9. Number 8, Kenny Pickett. Now, please don't jump on me. I'm not basing this on where he could go necessarily. I'm basing this on where he was last season. I was not a fan of picking him in the first round that we did last year. I didn't like him starting off early in the season. He was looking to run too much. He wasn't keeping his eyes downfield. He looked very tentative. He wasn't getting a lot of opportunities from Matt Canada. The offense was not yet gelled, so he wasn't getting a lot of protection. Najee wasn't getting a lot of opportunities or holes. Pickens wasn't getting a lot of targets. Nothing was gelling in the first half of the year. But as we got more opportunities, Canada opened the playbook a little bit, and everything started to gel. The offensive linemen played together last year. Nobody got hurt at all, so they gelled a little more. The running game got a little better. The wide receivers got a little more open. And Matt Canada allowed Kenny Pickett to start throwing downfield a little more, which then opened his eyes, and he kept his eyes downfield and became more of a throw-first, run-second kind of quarterback, which you like to see as time goes on. He started using the middle of the field, targeting his tight ends, giving Pickens a shot down the sidelines. He started kind of expanding his route tree, and we saw that not only was he making some good throws, but he was clutch and winning a few games, a couple game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, as Pittsburgh had a really good second half of their season. So Pickett, the sky's the limit. Could he be a franchise guy? Yes, he could. Do we know that for sure right now? No, we don't. Again, he did play a lot better in the second half of the season. Excuse my throat. But he has a long way to go. He's got to prove some stuff. He's got to come out and kind of be the leader. Canada has to let him. The offensive line has to gel. And the new weapons, such as Washington and Allen Robinson and Calvin Austin, have to come in and find their roles and play successfully together. So things still have to happen to see if Pickett can be the franchise guy. Right now, that is an unanswered question. But for a really solid rookie season, I've got him in number 8, and I think he could go higher. Number 7, Mason Cole, the center we picked up last year as a valuable, underrated free agent center who has some guard experience as well. I like what Mason Cole did last year. He's just a solid player. He's not great. He's not flashy. Nothing he does jumps off the page as being phenomenal, but he's just a solid technical athlete. He's got good strength. He's a decent athlete. He does things pretty solid. His fundamentals are solid. He doesn't blow a whole lot of things. He was a solid offensive lineman. I think he was better last year than Chooks and Dan Moore, who's not on this list because Broderick is in a spot now, but I think he was our third best lineman last year, or potentially even second best. We'll get to that. But I like what he did last year, and I think he's just a solid player. He's not going to jump off the page. He's not going to be amazing, but he's going to give you solid veteran presence, which is what he did last year and what I expect he will do going forward. Now, number 6. This one right in the middle of the list might be the most controversial of the entire list. Number 6, Deontay Johnson. We've talked a lot about Deontay and the wide receivers on this channel. Of the 2 wide receivers, you'll notice that he is listed second here. I like Deontay. I like what Deontay brings to the table. Again, very good route runner, very good footwork, very good separation, elite potential speed, really good breaking tackles at times. He's got a lot of flash to him and a lot of possibilities. But really, since his rookie season, he hasn't shown us a lot of that. He's been a bit one-dimensional. He's dropped some easy passes. He gets inside his head. He doesn't always come back to the ball. There are things about DJ that, again, he's got all the potential in the world to be not quite Antonio Brown level, but somewhere in that conversation. He could be an explosive wide receiver 1. For his footwork and his speed and the way he gets open on routes, he could be great. But again, he's a dropper, and he's a volume dropper. He starts to drop in bulk, and that really costs you, especially on important downs. He's dropped touchdowns, he's dropped conversions. We don't like to see that. So, again, I think with the other wide receiver on this list that we'll get to, George Pickens, I think he has the sky's the limit. I think he is already the wide receiver 1 on this team. I think he had a high catch radius. He had a high volume of catches versus targets last year. Not nearly enough targets, but almost always caught the ball or drew a penalty. I think Pickens could be an elite player on the level of, a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson this coming year if he gets the targets and the opportunity to diversify his routes, unlike he did not last year. But Deontay Johnson, while he could be there, I think he's going to give you what he's going to give you. He's going to be a guy that's fast. He's going to break some tackles. He's going to make some plays. He's probably going to get in the end zone, and he's going to have a lot to prove at the start of this season. So he's going to flash at times. But again, he's going to drop at times. He's going to be quieter at times. I think he's going to give you what he's going to give you, which is a solid veteran presence who can make some plays and has the potential to flash, but doesn't always do it often enough or consistently enough. Can he be consistent, which would make him elite? I don't know. That's why he's in number 6 on this list. Top 5, here we go. Number 5, James Daniels, our best offensive lineman last season. He was our big offensive line pickup alongside Mason Cole last year from Chicago. Played very well. I like what he does. Again, he's not the flashiest player in the world, but he is a solid veteran presence who was our best offensive lineman last year. I've got him as our second best offensive lineman this year. Really like what he brought to the table. He was the anchor. He was the big solidifier of that line, especially in the second half of the season. Love James Daniels. Number 4, Pat Freiermuth. Again, this one is every year he's gotten better. Every year he's gotten stronger. His hands are very solid and reliable. He is underrated as an athlete. He's a very good bailout guy in the middle of the field. He can get good height when he's going for combat catches. Freiermuth shows us a lot. Middle of the field, bailout guy for Pickett, third down converter. Really, really good guy. Is coming off a concussion, did miss a couple games at the end of last season. But I think Freiermuth, if he's given the targets, and much like George Pickens, the sky is the limit. This guy could be maybe already a top 5 tight end of the entire NFL, but he's got the elite potential. He's an athlete with hands that makes plays at big times like a Kelsey or a Kittle. And I think while he's not quite as strong as those guys, he can show flashes of that. I think he already has, and I think he will get bigger. Pat Freiermuth, number 4. Top 3, here we go. Number 3, another guy that I'm looking at potential, George Pickens. What a strong-handed combat catch, one-on-one, goes up and gets anything in his radius. Big jumper, great toe tapper, great body control, very physical in the air. I love what this guy brings to the table. All he's got to do, and I know it's a big ask, but he's got to learn to run a few more routes and get a little more diverse in his route tree, because he's going to give you those big plays downfield. He's going to draw flags. He's going to make one-on-one catches. He's going to go up and sky over guys like a Randy Moss. He's going to do kind of that physical A.J. Brown style. He's just got to get better at running other routes, but he's got to get more opportunities first. He did very, very well last year with very limited opportunities, and I think those will get bigger this year as Canada relies on Pickett more to look downfield more, which means George Pickens gets more chances. Love this guy. Top 2, number 2, our best offensive lineman was also our best free agent pickup this offseason. Isaac Seumalo from Philadelphia. Lots of experience, lots of good pedigree. Has the Andy Idol connection from Philadelphia, so he's played under coaches of ours before. Just a big physical guy who's an underrated starter. He is this year what James Daniels was for us last year, a big trusted veteran pickup at the guard position. So I really like where Seumalo is going to be this year, as Daniels was at guard last year, is what I'm trying to say. Really like Seumalo. Again, pairing him with Daniels and Cole, and then Broderick Jones, we've got now 4 new people in the last 2 seasons to round out the offensive line. So I think as consistent as the offensive line was at the end of last year, not getting hurt, if this line can stay healthy, we've got a big upgrade at veteran presence and physicality. Love that. Number 1, the one guy left on offense, Najee Harris. I spent a lot of talk about Najee Harris. Can he be a consistent guy? He's got 2 seasons and 2,000-yard years. He can catch the ball when need be. He can block for the quarterback once in a while when need be. Don't let him do it too often. He's just a very good, solid runner. Started the year bad last year, but we all did. We all started last season very poorly. Trubisky transitioning over to Kenny Pickett. Again, the line wasn't gelling yet. Pickett wasn't being trusted. Canada was over-conservative. Guys were stacking the box. As we started trusting Pickett and letting Pickens in more and get more opportunities downfield, then we started seeing Najee Harris get more running lanes. As the line gelled and the playbook opened up, Najee started doing what Najee Harris does, looking less tentative, falling forward, getting a few extra yards. And I think that's going to get better this season. Jaylen Warren is now there as a backup. Again, the offensive line has new pieces. We have new slot receivers now. We have new tight ends who can catch and block. We have a new fullback now who's a tight end size that can block. I think the blocking and the athleticism around Najee have gotten a lot better, and I expect a lot more this season is Najee's potentially best season. That's my 1 to 11. Where do you guys differ? How did I rank these? What do you think of what I ranked, and where would you rank them? Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments down below what you think of my list and give me your list. Please subscribe to this channel and come back next week as I do the same thing on defense. Thank you again to Moats and Deke for doing this and inspiring my list, and I will see you guys soon. Go Steelers.